Hello, everybody, and welcome to your Wednesday night critique. We are going to be doing something a little bit differently now. I'm trying to up my game a little bit. Basically, I am going to be building a brand new computer setup from the ground up with the goal of creating a nice system where I can teach some GPU rendering, some Katana, and other good stuff. It's going to take a little while to build it because the other reason why I'm doing this is I want to establish a relationship with a PC building company that can give a discount to our students. So if you guys are looking to build things, you will have a place to go through the Academy of Animated Art. I found this really great company, just working out some details. It'll probably take about a month or so to get it all ironed out. But that being said, I did get the monitor because I got a little jumpy. So got a big fancy new monitor, and I'm going to be working with that with your guys' critique, which is nice because I can give you a little bit more screen real estate. We've got some more to work with. I am recording the video and everything from my laptop, so you will see me turn this way. If it gets too weird, let me know and I'll figure out a different way. Eventually, I'll get a nicer camera and a better setup overall for these. So just slowly upping our game a little bit. But that being said, let's get into these critiques a little bit. So we've got a few tonight. We've got Aaron with an update, Ashley with an update, and Holly with a couple of images here. And I'm actually going to, so what we're seeing here is your last submission on the left, followed by a paint over by Francesco on the right. And then we will look at your most recent updated images as well. So that being said, and we've got one more as well. We've got an update over here from Donika on the most recent update to this animated scene. So we'll go through all of those. First off, I wanted to go with Aaron and Ashley because there's not really too many notes. I think you guys did a great job. I think, for Aaron first, great job softening, adding that a little extra bounce light really helps a lot. But I would call this done. I think you're good to go. You've definitely fulfilled the requirements of the first assignment, and I think you're good to move on to something a little bit more elaborate and push your skills to the next level. Ashley, same deal with you. I think that because both of you all are doing the thing that we want out of this, the first assignment, right? Looking at reference, processing it, and starting to translate that into your own work. Additionally, a lot of it is learning this critiquing methodology of posting your work, receiving feedback, hitting those notes, and going through that. Again, it's basically simulating dailies from the studio world. Both of you did that very well, did it both very successfully. I think that you've created some really cool images, and now we're ready to move on to some more complex stuff. So again, great job with this one as well. I love the brightness that you were able to achieve. It's like you did it, right? Like you did this really challenging thing, which is finding, creating dark over light while maintaining the super brightness going on. Not easy to do. You did a really graceful job of it as well. Holly, you're making this has really come a long way from where we started, and I really like what you were able to push here. The one recommendation that I would give when I'm looking at this, there's two things that stand out to me. Because I agree that the haze is working really well, and I love the variation that you've got in it. I just wonder if there's any other way that we can push some more variation in these lights, like a slight difference between they just look a little bit too perfect and a little bit too symmetric. So maybe make one like a little bit brighter, a little darker. Maybe I think that would be good. Also, maybe throwing one like over in here, or maybe off in here or over there, or something where it's not just like perfectly aligned all the way down. The other thing that I would do is work on. I'll get a Wacom eventually too, so this will be better. This part of the building, I would really like to see it darker for a few reasons. One, I want to create more shaping on this building because this side is very similar to this side, and I think that we can get a little bit more variation. Same thing with here to here. Then we can darken the foreground side, and what we can do is that'll serve two purposes, right? It'll darken the buildings to create more shaping, but it'll also kind of create a little bit of a vignette that will allow us to focus back into the space a little bit more. And then additionally, I think, and this is just this can be pushed in the comp eventually. I think that like looking at these windows over here, I think that you can actually push. Popped up over there. I think you can actually push the bright values a little more. Let's go ahead and do that and then desaturate it. Filter blur. All my dialog boxes are opening up on my other screen here. Very slight bit. We'll just screen this over the top here. And really what I'm just trying to do is just brighten up the windows a little bit. I think that what we had before was a little bit like clamped. I don't want to use the word dull because they weren't dull, but it was just like it felt like they weren't. Delete that. It felt like they just weren't super bright windows. So something a little bit more along that line. It's a little like that's a little universal and getting too much, but I want to see these windows get brighter and glowier a little bit. Same thing on this side as well, just kind of glow them up a little bit. But yeah, I think this is looking great. I think that you're doing a really wonderful job. I think the amount of windows that are on feels pretty good. Living in New York during quarantine, when a lot of people left, it's changed my perspective on how many lights are on in buildings at night. But I think this feels about right. Yeah, I think this is great. I think you should just keep going, keep building, and going from there. So really good work. Now let's hop over into Donika's. So there were a few things. I think this is looking great. I think that you're close. Love the interaction between the character and the screen. That feels a little more. It would be nice to get a little more glow out of the screen if we could. Oh, and then pause. That circle around the character at the end, I would just maybe just soften that a touch. It's also strange that you're still seeing the shadow inside of that because it feels like this light would eliminate that shadow. So I would work on that. Maybe increasing the radius of the light that's on him just so we don't get those quite so sharp shadows. And then and the other thing that stood out to me when I watched this was well, a couple things was the movement of the camera at the end and how the sky doesn't really track with it. I would maybe try to get a little like if you just kind of stare at the sky back there. It feels odd that it's not that it's like it's static, that it's not moving. I would just kind of track it over a little bit with it, and then love the cloud movement that you got back there. Adds so much life. They're a little fast. I would slow them down just a touch. And if there is any way, and I've thought about this for a while, and I think I probably mentioned this in a previous one, is just like tonality wise. The billboard and the background are very similar tone and a very similar value. Like if we desaturated this, they would be pretty similar. I'm wondering if we shouldn't darken the sky and the clouds overall back there a little bit, or maybe desaturating them would help, or something so they're not quite in the same hue, saturation, and value as the billboard itself. Just like a little bit different. Like, do you see how the way that like this pole kind of really pops off? It's because it's slightly less saturated than this. So maybe it's just a matter of desaturating the billboard a touch, so it's not quite at this level, but a little bit less saturated in the background. Give it a try, play around with it, see what you like. But overall, I think this is extraordinarily close, and it's just about putting these final details on it. So really great job there. Okay, if you guys have any questions about anything, let me know. I'm excited to see more from the lighting challenge this month. We've still got some time, so get in there. I did set it up for Arnold for all you Maya users, so you can just open it up and start playing with it immediately. And yeah, let me know if you all have any questions. All right. In the meantime, happy lighting, everybody.